away we go again. Alright, so yes, we do have a minute delay on this, so hopefully that'll start back up again any minute now. Apologies for that, guys. That wasn't an intended break. My OBS, with its whatever drama's gone down today, has obviously decided that doing an image slideshow to share you guys a whole folder is not going to happen right now. That's not going to happen, so I'll just continue to share individual images as we discuss about things. What's the time now? What time did we actually start streaming before? We've done just over an hour, haven't we? No, not even. Can't have been.
I think it was close to 5 o'clock.
We should be back any minute now. Big loves out there to Greg. I just spotted in chat that he's got a bail. I am aware how late it is. Greg's in Canada, I believe. Big loves to you, honey. I will see you out there in chat boxes and live shows still. We're not running away too far. We've just got family obligations and Christmasness and all those things going on, which is why we're not going to do another show for the year. That's the main reason for that, guys. So yeah, hopefully the stream is back like any sec, please. And yeah, we'll be around. I'll see you, Greg. Big loves. Have a great night. Have a great day at work tomorrow. Yeah, please come back. Okay, so YouTube says we're there. Sweet. We're running. And I think we're just about to appear on the screen right now. Okay, so I have no idea where that cut off on that, what we were actually talking about just before when my OBS crashed. Gremlins on the computer today.
The slideshow. So that's where we're at. You're trying to share some of the photos from the Tauranga meet. But, OBS says no.
OBS says no. Alright, I'll just grab a couple of individuals. Who's still hanging? We've got quite a few hanging out there. Who else is bailing? I'm aware it's night time. Well into the night times, probably morning time even in some states. Night, Dustin. I see you're taking off as well. Hope y'all have a great time. You will see us around. I'm sure we'll still do some more appearances. You know, like I say, the year's not over. It's just we've got other commitments. But yeah, if you are running away, please make sure that if you entered, come back and watch the replay for the draw. If not, come back, keep an eye on notifications and come back and join us for that first show next year as well. 18th of Jan. That's a Wednesday here in New Zealand. We're coming back on, so that'll be a Tuesday night for you guys in the States. We're going to try and aim at a little bit more upping our Kiwi viewers for the times, so we've just sort of got to gel it a bit with the time differences rather. It might be extra late for you guys in the US, so might be a lot of replay watching, not sure. It'll be a shame. We don't want to lose you guys as live viewers, but it might happen. Alright, okay, so what am I sharing? I've got something on my screen I'm about to share. I think it's a photo of you, Megan.
Photo of me?
No.
No?
No. OBS says no. I'm going to maybe stop doing that. OBS says no right now. I don't want it to crash again. So we'll just pause. Next, what was that? April. What happened after April? May. 1 billion lives. 1 billion lives. Yeah. The world premiere for 1 billion lives was right here in New Zealand, 11th of May. Damn, it was a great night. We had an amazing red carpet event. For those of you that aren't aware of my original claim to fame, separate of just running a show that we've been doing since the beginning of the year, the biggest thing that sort of got my name out there on YouTube amongst all of the other reviewers, amongst the other YouTubey faces, was my involvement with the red carpet world premiere for A Billion Lives. I was an event coordinator. I wasn't the only one, so it wasn't like all me and my gig, but I was a big integral part of the team in the fact that Aaron and his entire team were in the US, and they needed someone on the ground here in New Zealand, albeit in a different city to where I am. And we had a team on the ground there in Wellington, and we had many feet across the country, all had many parts to play in making sure that this happened. You know, when you're organising an event from the other side of the world, there's lots to be done. So yeah, for those of you that weren't aware, that's how my name got out there, probably a little bit more than my face, because of my involvement with A Billion Lives and the US crew, and because of my participation in helping organise the evening, the day. That also gave an opportunity for the Ohm Kiwis to be present there at the world premiere, and of course I brought Megan along with me, and she was standing on the red carpet beside me. So that, I must say, for an event separate of our meetups, our vape, directly vape vendor consumer related meetups, catch up, shoot the shit, have a drink, this event was the highlight for my year because of what it means for all of us, the globe over. And we all know my spiels, we all know advocacy spiels, we've all listened to Addie Tooney, love you darling. You know, like the spiel, the information, it's real, all of it's real, it's all valid, there's lots. And this evening, I think, played a part on so many levels for not just this film across the globe, but for vape life in general. And that I'm meaning by researching, informing yourselves, and educating others, which in turn becomes advocating. This film was about that. It's not that you didn't already know the information on the whole. Of course, there might have been bits and pieces that you didn't know prior about the technology in the film as a vapor. This film is for non-vapors, is for the skeptics, is for the cynics, is for those that don't get vaping as an alternative or as a lifestyle. It's for others. It's a film for us to support and be like, fuck yeah, but the film is for others to try and get why we're fighting so hard. And yeah, this is entirely my perspective and my opinion. These words coming out of my mouth right now. Not a prepared spiel, totally winging the spiels. We all know I wing at life. Yeah, you know, like, it was for everybody else. It still is. He's still fighting every damn day, getting this film across the globe, to inform those that don't either get it or are anti without all the information. You know, and Aaron, you have so much love from me, honey. You know, months went into that red carpet event prior to the event. Months of prep for them, and I was sort of like the Mania whirlwind that was brought in 6 weeks prior to the event happening, because they realised that they didn't have the right skills on the ground doing enough fast enough. So I got actually brought into this team quite late in the game, and I whirlwind my way through it, and bam, we had a red carpet event and shit went off, and it was a fantastic night, great after party as well. I know, I hope I'm saying your name right, darling. Oh shit, I should have worn my t-shirt today, actually. I didn't think of it. I just totally blanked on his e-liquid name. I don't want to say it wrong and rep the wrong person. I can't see it up here.
Oh,
I want to say Aquila, but that's not right. That's a wine, I think. He, you know, sponsored our red carpet after party event, and flew over from the US with Aaron, and Katie came over from the US, and Kurt from Cloud Chasers came over from the US, and you know, these faces in the film came with Aaron, and we got to meet some of you amazing guys over there, doing your thing in vape life, doing your fight, and being part of the advocacy across the globe. That was amazing. Kurt, you're amazing. Katie, darling, you're beautiful. Yeah, the Billion Lives whole aspect, that whole week prior, the event, after, the couple days after, the whole thing was amazing, you know, and for so many of you guys to come over from the US as well. Oh yeah, sure, it was a world premiere, but like, that's a lot of money. I know how much it is to fly to the States because I can't afford it. Amazing. And you know, Aaron's done heaps now. Lots of people across the globe have seen the film now, vapors and non-vapors alike. Yeah, support him. He's doing so much. He's not a vapor. He's not a smoker either, but he's not a vapor, and he has tried it, but he was a skeptic, and now he's trying to help convert the world, or at least get the world to open their eyes, and that has so much love and kudos in my book.
I mean, it's funny because like before you got involved with doing the red carpet event, I had already organised like with somebody else who was nice enough to kind of gift 10 tickets to see the premiere. So I thought, okay, yeah, I'll take one and I'll give the rest away. That was the idea. And then when you said that you were going to be a part of it, and then you said that you wanted the Ohm Kiwis to like be on the red carpet, and I was like, oh. So then it became that all of the tickets that I was given, I think it was like about 10, possibly might have been 6. But yeah, the tickets, I gave them all away for people who wanted to attend. I mean, regardless of the whole red carpet event thing, I would have gone because the world premiere was held in my hometown. So I knew that it was something that I had to go to.
Which also made it easier to drag you along, because you were already in the same city and you didn't have to travel.
Hardly any travel. All I did was just have my sister drop me off at the hotel that you were staying at with the Billion Lives crew, and yeah, it was awesome. The doco itself was definitely like a film that needed to be seen. I mean, a lot of people just seem to consider it as just a vaping film, and it's not. It delves a hell of a lot deeper into the background as to, like, the corruption behind like the people, the government, the FDA, the pharmaceutical companies trying to put a stop to vaping. And they were kind of just pushing more in that direction in that doco. And the after party was awesome. I had a blast. There was one point where I started getting headache, and then it was handy having MOXLEY. She goes, I've got some pain relief if you want some. And it's like, okay. And then half an hour later, I was sweet again. So it was like, yeah, it's party.
And then I'd just like to say, I dragged you to the hotel room and you crashed out, and I kept that party going.
Yeah. I kind of knew I had to, because it's like at some point I'm going to have to like get up kind of early and try and get my ass home, because ideally what was meant to happen was that I was supposed to go to the event and then maybe like go to some of the after party. But by the time I got to the after party, it's like, yeah, it's too late for me to get home now. There's no way. I can't get home. I'm stranded in the city. So yeah, it was good to sort of like be able to bunk up with you, Mox. It made it so much easier, because it was like, what am I going to do now?
And so I must say, that was a flash hotel.
No, yeah, it was really nice. I mean, it was opposite like our, I guess you could call it like the National Museum. Would it be National? maybe just the Wellington, like Te Papa.
I think
It's kind of like
the
opposite.
museum hotel or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the museum hotel, yeah, it's really nice. It's where a lot of like the, I guess, celebrities that come into Wellington for, especially for like premiere events that happen within my city. Yeah, a lot of them tend to go into like the museum hotel, and there's a few others that are quite swanky within the city as well. But yeah, it was the first time I'd ever really gone into there, even though I'd gone past it many times. And then to get up in the morning, it was like, okay, we've got to check out, and yeah, we're just doing like last minute little things. And yeah, Aaron Beavitt and his family had come down and then invited us out to brunch. So that was like really nice. So it's like, oh, okay, sure. And it was quite neat because then that way I was able to get a shot like of myself and Mox with Aaron.
Which
After
is one of my favourite photos of us taken this year, actually. Standing in that foyer of that hotel with both of us with Aaron, hungover as fuck. All of us.
It's one of my favorite photos as well.
All of us. Because lots of people said to me, about that photo, Mox, I can't see you. You're wearing a hat, you've got shades on, you're like fully covered, and I'm like, I was hungover, man. It cracked me up.
But yeah, it was an awesome moment of like 2016 was the Billion Lives premiere. And being able to experience that was amazing.
It really was, just so much awesome sauce all in one space.
Yes.
People and the information and what Aaron's doing and their kind-hearted souls. Like, he's got such a big heart. Yeah. So much love for that whole crew. It really, really is. And, wow, what he's doing for the world has in turn helped us, really, or myself. You know, like, I was just some chick from New Zealand preaching to the choir, talking the advocacy spiel, doing the admin thing online, you know, being whatever the Ohm Kiwis were prior to being known globally. For our NZ community, and then just with our involvement with that, all of a sudden we're global, mix.
Oh my god.
Ohm Kiwis on the red carpet world premiere with Aaron Beavitt. Yeah, that interview, I love that interview. It was so on the fly, and I was just like, so with a million things going on that night, and then it's like, oh my god, you had an interview with Aaron on the carpet? What? Shit, what are we saying?
Yeah, I was like that as well. It's like you were asking like the questions, and it's like, okay, now you've left me with nothing. I don't know what to ask. I think it would have been so much better had we been organised with a set list of questions, but no, yeah, it was totally done on the fly.
Had we been? Shh.
But yeah, no, it was definitely an enjoyable night. What else did we get up to after that?
I was just looking at the albums of photos I've got. So my next lot of pictures I've got isn't until Christchurch Vape Day in September. But I'm just trying to think, were there other things that were going on in the community? That was sort of... Okay, so that's the winter months here in the New Zealand, and, you know, obviously people didn't want to hold events over winter and what have you, which was why Christchurch Vape Day was in September and not a little bit earlier in the year. Stuff happened with venues and it got pushed back, and then winter was coming and Christchurch is too cold for winter for people to travel to. And but over that time period is pretty much when the FDA stuff hit the media and all of that went haywire overseas for everybody else.
Yeah,
that was because I mean, that deeming reg date was looming, and there was like all this tenseness. And to be quite honest, in that time period, we were Ohm Kiwiing and hanging out with all the YouTube crew, and we're doing our stuff here. And obviously there's, you know, always been these in the background workings. All of the advocates here in New Zealand, you know, there are many of us. It's not just the ones with a public face out there, doing work with our government and trying to change our legislations here, and just trying to make, especially with the Billion Lives premiere, like that was good for vaping for New Zealand as well. That really opened a lot of, not just the government, but system in general, health system, other departments. You know, it opened a lot of people's eyes to the fight of the vapers here in New Zealand, being that smaller population. And so those things were always going on in the background. And then of course when the FDA stuff hit media, hit the world, well, very publicly, that was going on for months prior to it going mental, but you know, the way it exploded across the globe instigated a lot more research and information gathering and surveys and phone calls and articles and all of those things going on. It instigated a lot of that here in New Zealand, because of the bigger vaping global picture sort of thing. Yeah, I can't really pinpoint one specific event except for, you know, that deeming reg date, which isn't New Zealand specific, albeit we are slightly affected by those rule changes. I don't know, can you think of something specific across that time period? I mean, I can think of lots of things we were doing, like who we were hanging out with, people I was meeting on YouTube, you know, just getting the word out, doing our thing, bridging the gap with our own Kiwi show, from New Zealand to the world. Can you think of anything else prior to September, to Christchurch Vape Day?
The only thing that kind of that comes to mind is when I had, I personally had attended a Vaporized NZ's
yes.
opening.
I knew there was, I knew there were other things, and you've been to a couple of little events like that, especially with North Island B&M openings that I wasn't attending. So yeah, there you go. There's a good gap filler.
Yeah, so there was that. I mean, initially I wasn't actually going to be able to make it, like, because it meant that I had to go from Wellington, which is at the bottom of the North Island, to Auckland, which is closer to the top of the North Island. I mean, drive-wise, it's about a 10-hour trip. The vendor, or the owner of Vaporized NZ, he was so generous, and he wanted me at his open. So he flew me to Auckland and flew me back home, and I stayed at his house, which was mind-blowing. Like, I wasn't expecting anything like that to happen, but I was incredibly grateful to be able to attend that open. How he kind of put it is that he wanted to have New Zealand's resident builder at his open. That's how he put it. And I was like, okay. So he had to have me there. And so while I was there at the open, I did a couple of little late night builds just to the show. And plus it was also to give like a bit of assistance with someone else who was also getting into the more intricate coil builds. And it was kind of awesome, because he, when I was at last year's Auckland Vape Day, I did a beginner's coil builders class. So basically, if there was someone who wanted to start getting into building, I basically gave them, I guess, the foundations of getting into it. And this guy who I was giving like little advanced tips in terms of like making like an alien, for instance, he was at my beginner's build workshop at last year's Vape Meet. So it was kind of neat that he's progressed on from attending that class without having any build experience to where he's at now. And so it was neat to be able to kind of communicate with him again and go through the whole build thing again, but on a more advanced scale. And yeah, it was good to catch up with like a few other people. That Open was the first time I actually met Thomas Gossage, who owns Renaissance Liquids or e-liquids. It was the first time I ever met him. And also got to catch up with a few other people that I hadn't seen in a while since that last year's Auckland Vape Meet. I got to catch up with them as well. But yeah, and also got to meet up with like a few other people. But yeah, it was a good weekend. That's the only thing that I can think of that happened before the Christchurch Vape Meet. And Christchurch was another one that I just about missed out on. Thank you, Mox. Had it not been for Mox, I never would have made that Christchurch one either. So yeah, I have to give big kudos and big ups to my Batman.
Okay, I'm just getting just before we start talking about Christchurch Vape Day and carry on to the end of the year up to current, I'm just getting things ready at the minute to do this giveaway draw and get that done. So, just reminding you guys for the giveaway, that is NSVAPE, stands for North Shore Vape. They have 6 juices in their line, and the prize up for grabs is all 6 of those flavors in 10ml bottles, so pretty much like a sampler pack range. And I will cover global shipping if the winner is outside of NZ. So, well, actually, I'll cover global shipping, then be in New Zealand, I'll still pay for it. So
if I can hold some of them.
I've got a whole lot of the juices in the bottles in front of me right now, but the actual prize pack I've got stashed away so that I keep it separate of all my vape liquid. So yeah, there we go. I was just about to do all of the
Come on, focus.
The mini. Yeah, well look, you've got all pretty with them lined up and the whole range up for grabs.
I'll try.
And so I'm not going to try and screen share. I'm not going to do weird things with OBS, seeing as that glitch happened before. So I'm just going to load the video's URL into the randomcommentpicker.com, which is a site I have used previously, and it will just randomly select from the loaded comments off that video. So I'm just going to load them right now. I'm going to do it right now. Actually, where's the feed? Who's hanging out in the box? Who we still got here? Hey, thank you all for hanging out. I'm not sure who's watching, who's chilling. I'm aware it's late in some places. Thank you. Just have a quick scroll through chat there. Oh, that's what Kirk, one of our viewers out there, talking about how vaping saved his mum's life, which is amazing and awesome news. Big ups to your mum and to you. I'm sure you helped introduce vaping into her life as well. So great news, Kirk. Converting, yeah. Lots of converted this year, definitely.
Yes. Mr. Gizzard Stews in the chat box.
I just spotted that right then. I'm just getting this ready. Hey Gizzy, how you doing, darling? Gizzy was also one of the first YouTubers alongside of TJ and Fresh that I first hung out with earlier this year. Gizzy, you just missed our last 15 minutes rambling on about May and a billion lives, darling. We're just scrolling through the year's events and what this year of 2016 has been for the Ohm Kiwis. However, we're going to pause on that wee timeline.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, hang on. You like mad glitch. Just repeat all of that right then, Meeks.
I just said the year that was.
The year that was. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I heard you that time. Okay, videos loaded, loading comments. Randomly pick. I'm just gonna do it, and the winner is la 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 la. The winner is Byron Gamble. I don't know if you're in the chat box today, honey. Congratulations. He's one of our regular viewers from the US, so that is absolutely awesome. Byron, I can I wish I could share a screenshot. Share a screenshot right now, but I'm a little bit scared that OBS will have another conniption. So hopefully, please take my word for it. Byron Gamble, you are the winner of our NSVAPE giveaway. Mwah. Congrats, honey, and thank you for all your support that you have shown us throughout the year, coming and chilling and chatting to us at all hours of the day. So, yay, that's the giveaway done. That's it. Oh yes, sorry. Byron, I will message you on Facebook because I do have you on Facebook. I'm not sure if you're out there or if you will get a notification or anything. You need to please message me at the Ohm Kiwis Facebook page, and we will have a chat about your address and get all that sorted, honey, and I will get that off to you. A little bit worried about sending something right now with all the Christmas crazy postage and mail that gets lost going overseas and what have you. So I want to have a chat to you about whether or not you'd like me to send that now, or if you want to wait for the new year, just because of that postage craziness. I don't want it to get lost going all the way to the other side of the world for you. So we'll have that chat. Message me at Ohm Kiwis, honey. Congratulations again.
Yay!
Was that fireworks?
Yeah. He's doing everything.
That was awesome. Alrighty, so moving along with our reminiscing down stroll lane. Oh yeah, strolling down reminiscent lane, however that works.
Stroll down reminiscent lane.
Yeah. Christchurch Vape Day, September. Wow. Actually, that's why not too much was really focused for the Ohm Kiwis over those winter months, because we both know that I was wholeheartedly focused on getting that event together. So for our viewers, whether you're in live chat or out in the replay later on, if you weren't aware, I was the main, if not, not the only, because I had helpers. I couldn't have done it without some of my NZ crew, like I really couldn't have. But I was the main organiser and the face of organising Christchurch Vape Day, which was the big event we've had this year in the South Island. So there's also been, we'll come to it because it's the next event coming up, but last year's 510 Auckland Vape Day was in October, and then that was in October again this year, so we'll come to that one next. But this was the first big event for the South Island. And when I say big event, it was a 12-hour day, 12-hour event, I should say, and then I had an after party, and we had DJs and a few drinks and what have you. So we had... trying to remember, 14 vendors from across the country come and join us, or supply prizes. Sorry, I believe we had 10 stalls on the day, but 14 vendors involved in some way for sponsorship and prizes and what have you. Albeit that I was the main organizer, the Ohm Kiwis, both of us were hosting the day. I was on the mic running all the competitions most of the day, but if you didn't catch that, yeah, I made Megs talk. I made her get on the mic and talk to people.
It's like, okay, you've got to talk about this. Oh, hey.
And because I was on the mic running most of the competitions all day, Megs was doing the live feeds to our Ohm Kiwis Facebook page.
And the build workshops.
And the build workshop, yes. Megs and Phil both run build workshops. And I had... It was a really good coming together of lots of different parts of our NZ community. It wasn't just the South Island crew that rallied around me to make this happen. And I couldn't have done it. couldn't have done it. I've got to give them kudos to both of them, one more so than the other, but both of them, to our Ohm, our Ohm Iwi, the vaping Iwi boys, to Cameron, my cousin, and Thomas, who is Renaissance E-Liquids. They were an integral part of my crew in the background, helping me organise bits and pieces and helping me keep my shit together to make sure that that day even happened. And the reason, it's not so much that I had help, yes, but you know, thank yous are always appreciated and what have you. It's more the fact that they helped me put in a lot of background time, separate of both of our YouTube shows even, put in a lot of time with me in the background to help me get shit done. And they weren't even going to be at the event. Both of them being at the other end of the country, and Thomas in Auckland and Cameron in Rotorua, and yeah, weren't even able to be part of that event. It would have come if they had the ability to fly down and do so, but expenses, commitments, all of that jazz. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because I know people knew that they were helping me, but to put in help for an event that you're not even going to be present at to enjoy the day you've helped create, that's why I want to give them special love, because not everyone will do that, give time and energy for something that they can't participate or not so much reap the reward, but participate in and feel the love in of the day that they help put together. So Christchurch Vape Day was real special. We had lots of comps, some amazing prizes. Megan won prizes. I didn't enter anything because I was running all the comps.
Two of the main competition ones, but no. Still live it. One of them.
Is your trophy at hand?
I can reach it. So
we all know that Megs has amazing O's. We watch her do them on the show all the time. I told Megan, so we had two competitions, just O's and then advanced tricks, so anything beyond an O. And I made Megs enter the O comp, and of course, she took it out first place. And Mr. Beautiful Lawrence, Mech Level Carvings, who is an awesome member of our Christchurch vaping community, he carved that. Hand carved that, and for those of you that follow me on Instagram as well, you would have seen other Addy stand carvings and things that he has done that I've posted as well. I've got an amazing piece of his work, but yeah, he made 7 trophies for me, all of them slightly individual, but predominantly all resembling exactly what Meg's just held up, like that they were a cloud and Addy holes and the Ohm symbol, and then each of them had stenciled in the Christchurch Vape Day, the date, and the event that they won. So yeah, there are little pieces like that, you know, a community crew coming together, and he refused to let me give him a koha, a donation, for his work. So effectively, Lawrence gave those 7 trophies to the community, the time and effort, love, wood, all of it to the community, of his heart. He refused to take any money from me, so that's just amazing, because those trophies took him a wee while, and like I say, there were 7 of them. So you know, big loves, kudos out there to Lawrence. He's been a big part of our New Zealand community across the country actually for the whole year. So he's a well-loved member, and some of the US crew that have come and hang on Zoom and things, on video chats with our NZ crew, have possibly met him while he's been sitting in his carving studio working on things. So yeah.
That wasn't the only one I got as well.
Yes,
you were the spot prize?
Yes, that's right. You got a spot prize too. So yeah, he put up other things for the day. This was a spot prize that Megs won based off the ticket numbers everyone had for the day. Just want to throw it night, Lemmy. We will see you again soon, honey. And yeah, don't forget to come join us again next year. Yeah, Lawrence does some amazing work, and like there were just so many little bits and pieces that so many members of the community did for Christchurch Vape Day to help me put it together, to make the day a community day. There was community involvement, and that's what was awesome. Hoopers, Ben Hooper, love your work, darling. I actually forgot to mention earlier in the year, he didn't have an official big, loud, everybody knew about it opening. But Ben opened his B&M in Christchurch earlier this year, and off the top of my head, I believe that was in April, because I recall it being around the time of the Tauranga meet. So yeah, big love to Ben, because Ben was our main sponsor type vendor of Christchurch Vape Day. Probably not so much in prizes or anything. Oh, he did put up prizes, but not. And this is why I'm like sort of defining it as he wasn't main, as opposed to putting forward anything more than other vendors that were there for the day and who put up prizes. It was just more so that he is the B&M that everybody knows in that city, and we had a big measured cloud comp banner that was up behind everybody, and he got that printed, so that had Hooper's Vapor on it. So that's why I mean, but he was the main sponsored vendor, just because it's his hometown for vaping. Wow, and his shop's amazing. Well, we did a test live feed, which I actually left up on our Ohm Kiwis page because it's funny. We did a test live feed of the two of us at Ben's shop the day before Christchurch Vape Day, and that's hilarious. It was just a test live feed because either of us had never done Facebook Live off our phones before, so it was just to play around with that, and we happened to be at Ben's shop, and that was just a little bit of lol.
Yeah, because I had no idea, like, because it was the first live feed that we'd ever done. Yeah, had the phone sideways, and it wasn't until comments started coming through and say, "You guys are sideways." I was like, "Oh," let's turn it back around.
Oh, okay. Lemmy's not leaving yet. I thought Lemmy said goodnight. Oh, God. I'm confused. Oh, well. Big loves to all of you still hanging out there. Someone messaged Hazy. No, I didn't get an invite because I don't message people privately that my show's going on. So feel free to let Jamie know that I'm live and we're still rambling. So yeah, Christchurch Vape Day was a big event for the two of us. Was a big event for me. If you guys hadn't picked up on it already by just little comments and things I'm saying, yes, I have a previous life history of event management. Hence my involvement in such things. It's a stressful part of life to be involved with. It's great in the moment, and I work well under pressure and get shit done, but it doesn't make it any less stressful. So that then leads me to and if you guys didn't catch it or weren't aware at the time, on our Ohm Kiwis Facebook page are the album of photos from the day, videos, the live feed videos that Megs did. All of those are on our Ohm Kiwis page if you guys want to have a look. I'm not going to try and screen share, put any more images up on the screen, seeing as OBS had that glitch. We're streaming, it's running. I don't want to break it again. So if you would like to see, and they are fully public is why I'm bringing it up, if you would like to see the album of photos from our day, and I had 2 professional photographers there as well, and I don't even know if you took any photos for your own personal, but Megs was busy most of the day, albeit that she's a photographer too. So there are photos.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah, there are photos and an album on our Ohm Kiwis page. All those videos are there. Go have a laugh. Go check out what we get up to in NZ. You'll look at them if you're in the US and you've been to a big, amazing expo or convention or multi-day vaping ensemble of some sort. You'll notice a complete difference. But as like I said earlier, they are like our little house party gatherings where the population numbers at the event are far less than in the US by comparison, but our community spirit and those friendships, and from being smaller, more intimate events, we can really get to know each other well in our community here, and that's what keeps us tight. It's great. I mean, we just get lost amongst the masses coming over to an expo. albeit amazing to see. You just get lost amongst the masses. So yeah, go have a look at those vids if you want to check out the day. So that then leads us on to where there are more videos. 510 Auckland Vape Day in October.
Yes, it's the Auckland Vape Day. I road trip to that with my father and Mr. Ed and Susie. And yeah, the road trip itself was really good. I mean, my dad had recently purchased himself a new ute, so he wanted to break it in. So yeah, so we travelled up to Auckland, and we stayed at the venue, which we probably won't do again. I mean, it was handy having everything like at the venue, but yeah, if you value your sleep, it wasn't a good idea. The night we got up there, got to Auckland, there was I can't remember if it was the 21st or a hen's night, but there was a lot of people at the venue itself, just partying it up with loud music and everything, and I couldn't really settle down and try and get to sleep until their night had ended. I was just glad that I didn't have to get up ridiculously early to try and get ready for the event, because we were already there. But yeah, I mean, it was a good day out. I mean, the venue that they used for this year's one was the same as last year's, and it was really good because the venue itself had installed some, I guess, kind of like canopies on their top deck compared to like last year where they didn't have any. And it was so good that they had those there, because then it also meant that our vendors can were able to have stalls out on the upper floor out over the deck. So, and also having the covering, it protected everybody from the rain. Like, it rained on and off throughout the event. We've come to terms with Auckland's weather kind of having 4 seasons in one day sort of thing. Like, it was really hot first thing in the morning, and then it became really overcast, and then it rained, and then it got quite cold, and then it warmed up again, and it's like, come on Auckland. It's like, make up your mind. But yeah, the event was pretty much held the same way as last year's one, with the vendors and competitions and things like that. I didn't enter any of the competitions for in Auckland or Christchurch for that matter. I didn't enter any of the competitions. Oh no, actually that's a lie, because I did the OComp.
You did the OComp. That was the only one you entered though.
Yeah, I had contemplated like entering like one of the cloud ones, but I didn't have a sufficient build for the competitions or for any of them. So I was like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. I can just sit back in the background, do the live feeds, and yeah, and that was pretty much it. I tried to do live feeds for the Auckland event, yeah, but for some strange reason, my phone got really hot, and the battery was just depleting really, really quickly.
There are a couple up on our Ohm Kiwis page that you did do from the day, though.
Yeah, I was hoping to do more, but yeah, it just didn't happen.
Can I just say a big love out there to Dallas, who we haven't seen in ages, has just appeared in the chat box.
Yay!
Big D in the house. What up, baby doll? Hope you're well, honey. Yeah, we're just recapping the year, and we just happen to be talking about Auckland's 510, and here you are, you popped in. We caught up with Dallas in Auckland at 510, so well timed, honey, well timed. There are also, separate of the feeds that Megs did, I think maybe you did 2 at 510, and I did 2.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
So on our Ohm Kiwis page, I know there's at least one from me with Megan's phone on our Ohm Kiwis page running around, and there is also one from me on the NZ Vape Life page, which is a fully public page if you guys wanted to go and have a look at that as well, and that was just running around. So Auckland 510 for me was great in different aspects. I wasn't part of the crew organising this year. I was last year. So this year was a punter, and just being an Ohm Kiwi and being one of our vaping crew hanging out for the day was great. Catching up with mates, chilling, having a drink, vaping all the juices, trying new things. And then I actually got roped in to end up being a judge for 4 of the comps throughout the day. So in some of Meg's live feeds, you can actually see me over in the judging corner standing with other people, and yeah, it was not my intention. It was completely unplanned, and I was approached once I arrived on the day, which is all good. They needed a judge. I was happy to help out. No biggie. It was quite cool, and seeing, like I say, like I said right at the beginning, last year's Auckland 510 was the first event for New Zealand. We didn't know what we were doing in a vaping context for what to provide for the people. We had an idea, obviously. We looked to the US, so lots of us watch Vape Capital, lots of us watch VCC and various other YouTubing related vaping crew that do events or travel around and do competitions. So we're looking to the US all the time with the things that you guys have got going on in Vape Life to what we can provide for the community here in a smaller context. So last year's 510 was the first event. It was setting the bar for every event, because we can only but improve from the first one, and this year's was definitely an improvement. And I find that, am I insulting myself because I was part of the crew organising last year? I don't know. It was different. It was organised different is probably how I should say that. There were more vendors. The venue had improved, like Megan was saying, with the canopies outside over the big huge deck. So all of the vendors were out there, as opposed to being squished into the space where we were running the competitions. So there was many things improved on from last year, just from those little bits, so the venue itself, same venue as the year prior, so the venue itself had improved, which meant our event in itself could grow and progress from that venue improvement. All those little things are key, and last year's being the first event, it was new, so people didn't know if they should come. What's the turnout going to be like? Are we going to enjoy ourselves? What's going to go on for the day? So this year's event in Auckland, people already had an idea, whether they were at last year's event or they'd heard people talk about it from those that were there, or they have been at other of the smaller events throughout the year to go to that bigger one. So there were many improvements. So the crowd, more vendors there, so that brings in a bigger crowd. There's been more talk about it throughout the year, so that built it up more. I see improvements on this aspect as well, because we have more vapors now than we did a year ago. So there's more people to come and enjoy the day, and there's more people to have the community together. The food was still great. The drinks were still great. Like, that venue is an awesome space. Like, I really kudos to what the hell are they called? Shooter's Saloon in Auckland. Like, that's totally a place I would go and have a drink, and they do great platters is the word I want. They go around with a huge big platter and purchase pizzas, and they put on food for everybody for the day, which is something we also did at the Christchurch Vape Day. Masses of food. Oh my god, we had so much food. Yeah, seeing people, our North Island mates like Dallas out there in chat, you know, catching up with the crew. Dallas has since left Auckland and moved to Tauranga and is now part of the Ejo Spa crew in Tauranga who have B&M there. So he'd done that move since I'd last seen him in Auckland. And so, you know, Ejo Spa comes up for the event, get to catch up with your old mates. And that's exactly what it is, isn't it? Even seeing just your favourite juice vendor who might live at the other end of the country. It's catching up with the old mates, isn't it?
Yeah. It's pretty much what it was, like with that Auckland Vape Day. I mean, yeah, there were definitely a lot of people there who I hadn't met because, you know, as it does, the vaping community grows and more people become a part of it. And yeah, it was good catching up with old friends and being introduced to new people. It was a great day. I think with this one, they made it a little bit shorter than last year's, if I can remember correctly.
It was 2 hours shorter, so there was more packed into the shorter space.
Yeah. I was supposed to do a build workshop, but I'd been having issues like with my wrists, like on both sides, and just the thought of trying to do a workshop just made my wrists twitch, and it was like, nah. Yeah, so I pretty much had to apologise to the main, I guess the main host of the event, and yeah, he was perfectly fine with it. He was like, no, he completely understood. But yeah, I just had to have them rest for a bit, and every now and again they still kind of play up a little bit. So there's like a wee bit of a break in between me trying to do any builds. I mean, I haven't done any proper builds for quite a while, so I've been caught up with a bunch of stuff like in the background, which kind of stopped me from making any. And yeah, I think today was probably the only day where I was actually able to make some. So I just whipped up some fuse Claptons just to try and get me through the show, because yeah, the builds that I had been rocking, I was using some dude coils before, and I'd been using those for about a bit. And yeah, I was just getting a bit bored with it. It's like, time to change to like, get a fresh build.
What else happened in Auckland? Oh, Auckland Vape Day. Yeah, well, we got to hang out in person with the Vaping Iwi boys. The Ohm Iwi was together in person for one show that we've done this year out of our 4.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if you're unaware, the Vaping Iwi are the boys show, Cam and Thomas, the other Kiwi show that's on YouTube, and together once a month we do a combined Ohm Iwi show with all 4 of us. So that was the first show and the only one this year that we've done in person, all 4 of us in the same space. So that was a really cool show, albeit at the time we streamed in 2 different rooms because of the way the cameras were laid out. But yeah, we were all hanging, and that was cool. And I actually ended up doing our Monday show from Thomas's house as well.
Yeah, while I was trying to travel back to Auckland.
Yeah, and that was a bit of a sad show, but if you guys have seen it, but it was a cool week in general. I was in Auckland for a week at that time, actually a couple of weeks. I had a few things going on at the same time as Auckland Vape Day, which is why I was able to be up there actually. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what's next. Auckland Vape Day, and that was October, November. That sort of brings us to nowish, doesn't it? So we've still got legislation in research and development stage with the New Zealand government. So hopefully there'll be progression on that for next year. And that, sorry, it isn't legislation yet. It's proposed legislation. Correct my wording.
Yeah.
And hopefully that gets passed to become lawful legislation. Getting all tongue-tied now. For us to be able to sell nicotine at a retail level. So for our vendors to be able to sell their e-liquid containing nic over the counter. So that's what we're currently fighting for in New Zealand. We've had the government legally recognise vaping as an alternative not as a cessation aid, but as an alternative, and starting to provide information for our medical departments and communities and all of those services across the country, just informing the health sector, so that when people come to them, they can actually have informed conversation. And with that particular development, I can't remember the date of that. Was it September that one happened? That was just after Auckland Vape Day, wasn't it? And with that one also came, in that same document rather, also came the acknowledgement that if you tell your doctor or your healthcare nurse that you are a vapor now and you stop smoking, then on your medical file you can and should be legally noted as a non-smoker or an ex-smoker. So that's a progression within our health sector that happened from that document as well. There are lots of little legal bits, conversations, advocacy crew here in New Zealand, they do work hard in the background. Lots of little bits. I feel like I'm missing a significant bit of info. Sorry, I had a drama right before the show, so I was a little unprepared, and then the OBS shit itself. I should have recapped all of our documents from the year, and I didn't. I feel like I've missed one, but off the top of my head right this second, sort of just skimming over the recap for the year on the advocacy and legal side of things, I think that's about where we're at. We've had lots of articles this year on the positive and the negative, media is media, lots of reactory sort of media to other articles or statements from overseas, other incidents, whether they be media propaganda or actual incidents blown out of proportion by media. Both those statements are valid for some scenarios I've read about. I think that's where we're sitting with advocacy in New Zealand right now. And of course, those conversations are always progressing. There are always our advocates informing those in government who are in contact about things changing in the vaping community, or vice versa, or things changing within government that could affect vaping. I know there is communication going on in the background there for those things on behalf of vapers, so to make sure that we aren't getting the bum ride. We want to be heard. We want to be heard across the globe, don't we? We want to be heard. We want to be recognised for what vaping is and how it's helped so many. Because that's what the fight is. The fight to save 1 billion lives.
Yeah.
So,
with the
yeah.
the legislation side of it, I mean, I'm really hoping that it definitely goes through as an alternative rather than cessation. So rather that there be vaping as being a safer alternative to the traditional cigarettes. If anyone is sort of thinking about smoking, I would prefer that they would take up vaping instead.
Yeah.
And not necessarily have it there as a means of getting off the cigarettes.
Yeah. You're starting to glitch hard now, hun.
If that makes sense.
I am hearing what you're saying, but you're frozen on my screen. You're starting to glitch hard now. It is that time. Yeah, I am still here, honey. I can still hear you. You're just frozen. It is that time of the night where lots of people are using the internet over here. Can you still hear me? No, there she goes. And she's back. She had to reset it. Yeah, it is that time of the night where lots of people are using the net, and Meg's net's about to start getting fucky, and I've noticed that YouTube is getting very laggy and buffery for us, so it's probably a bit painful to watch out there right now. Where are we at with our recap? Honey, I think we've caught up to the year. Have we missed things? Do we want to... Is there anything else we want to bring up before we run away? We have... We have been rolling for a wee bit now.
The only other thing the Hawke's Bay Vapor opening that they had in Palmerston North.
Oh, of course.
That I went to.
That's the most recent thing that's
Hawke's Bay
happened.
Vapor have two other. Yeah. Yeah, Hawke's Bay Vapor have two other B&Ms to the Palmerston North one. So they have two in the Hawke's Bay area. So there's one in Hastings and one in Napier.
Yes. Oh.
And
Napier and now Palmerston North. I don't think the one in Hastings is still there. They moved the shop initially. They didn't open a second one. Palmerston North's the second one.
I'm sure they had two up there.
Oh, I could be wrong, but that was what my belief was. I could be wrong though. Carry on, all good.
Sure. I don't know. I might have to research that. Research informed. No. Yeah, I think like from what I was, from my understanding, it was Hastings, Napier, and oh, now my mic is too loud. I will talk quieter. What on earth happened there? Bear with.
I don't know why he said that. Your mic hasn't changed at all, Megs. Just carry on because I want to start wrapping up the show now.
Okay. No, that's cool. Yeah. So from what I was understanding, Hawke's Bay Vapor had Hastings, Napier, and then opened another B&M in the lower portion of the North Island in Palmerston North. I attended that because they're about an hour and a half drive from Wellington, and so I was able to attend that. It was pretty neat. The timing was quite good as well because my nephew had a softball tournament in Palmerston North as well that very day. So I was able to watch one of his games and then shoot over to the Open and catch up with Michael and Margaret, which was awesome, and see what the location that they had, and they seem to be in a really good spot for Palmerston North. It was quite neat. Kind of pondering whether or not to actually I know at some point that my flatmate wants to move, and I think she was looking at the Palmerston North area, so I kind of went to Michael and Margaret and was like, hey, if you want to hire anybody, wink wink. But we'll see how that goes.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Working in a vape shop.
Oh yeah, it'd be wicked.
All right, guys. So we've had a very eventful 2016, haven't we? Whether that be vape events, whether that be legislation, whether that be media drama and exaggeration, whether that be just new friends made and helping people to stop smoking, and the however many conversions that you have under your belt. Like, it's been a great ride. It's been a good year. I think 2016 is going to be interesting. It would be interesting to see what goes down with the US and the FDA regs, where all that goes from here. Is it going to change anymore, or is whatever minimal changes actually that are going to happen, have they happened? Or is there still more to come? I mean, I'm aware there's another date looming that they have just moved from December to June. I can't remember specific dates. And there's something, I totally actually can't quite remember the info, but I'm aware there's something going on there, FDA related, for shops and vendors and what have you, around that. Hopefully that doesn't affect globally.
About 2017.
Eh?
I just realised you were talking about 2017. So you mentioned 2016. I was like, 2016 is going to be interesting.
No,
We're just about wrapping it up.
Did I say it wrong? Yeah, I meant, if I said it wrong, I meant 2017 is going to be interesting. So that's coming out for the US. We've got legislation proposed on the table in New Zealand, which will hopefully be passed in 2017, and possible future things that we would like to help educate our New Zealand government and public on to do with vaping. I hope we get, if that legislation passed, that there isn't too many rules and regulations added in with it. I hope we get to stay self-regulated with just a little bit of obvious health and safety guideline, which our vendors do uphold currently. There is a great organisation here in New Zealand, the VTANZ, Vape Trading Association of New Zealand, and that is predominantly all vendors, and that is their self-regulating organisation where all the vendors keep each other in check, and they have health and safety regs, self-imposed regs for the mixology around e-liquid and handling e-liquid and the manufacturing of, and etc. etc. So I hope we get to stay self-regulated in that aspect. There'll be new products, there'll be, who knows, actually. It'll just be interesting. I know there are going to be changes. Things are going to happen. It will be quite interesting to see the progression. I mean, we've seen so much progression already in our own vaping journeys, from where to go with devices, with knowledge, with e-liquid, all of it. Like, progression is progression. Nothing is gonna stay the same, stagnant, especially in yes, of course, especially in an industry like that, like this, where things are changing so fast. Yes, of course, that happened this year.
Yeah. That happened.
I really actually, I wonder if OBS will let me have it up on the screen for the last few minutes. Will you let me have another image, please? Dawny, Adore E-Liquid. She has been a big supporter of us, advocacy, helping us bridge the gap between New Zealand and the rest of the world. She's been an amazing supporter of us as a show, as individuals. Big love to you, Dawn. And also, sponsored Megs to help get her Ohm Kiwi Coils biz off the ground. Still in the works, it's still happening.
So amazing. I mean, I haven't fully launched it yet. I'm still working on stuff in the background for it. But I do aim to hopefully try and get it launched sometime in the new year. I've just got like a hurdle that I need to deal with first before I can actually go, hey, it is live. But I had to get me a mug. A mug and some business cards kind of done up. So at least in that way I've got those little bits and pieces out of the way. But yeah, Dawn was like a big help in me being able to do these things, as well as trying to organise like the website side of stuff.
I just stuck her above your head.
And and we've got like another local vapor who's helping me out with my website. So I've just got to touch base with him to see how he's going with that. And and I think the next step, I guess, would be to get some wires so I can actually start building up an inventory. To build that inventory.
That's what 2016 is going to bring for you all. Ohm Kiwi Coils coming at you real soon.
2017, love.
So any last rounds of thank yous and I love yous before we end the show, Megs? Is there anyone you'd like to give kudos to for 2016's journey of vape life with the Ohm Kiwis that we haven't already mentioned?
Oh, I really wish that I had organised this. Obviously, Dawn is like right at the top of that, because without her sponsorship and generosity, there's no way I would have gotten it started. I mean, that was like the big thing about me trying to get my business started, was like getting the funds together to be able to try and get it off the ground. So she helped me a lot with that. Who else do I want to thank? there's so many people within the community that have been like a massive support. I was meant to write a list of all these people that I was meant to thank, and I didn't get a chance to do it. I have to thank my Batman. Thank you, Marks. You've been like a huge supporter. You've always been in my corner. And for that, I'm forever thankful for. I have to thank Yeti, because he's always like putting me out there, like just about everywhere he goes. Like people sort of like do big ups like on his wire and stuff, and he's like, and he always plugs me, and it's like, oh, thanks. And so that's pretty awesome. It's kind of nice to know that it's like that someone out there actually appreciates the work that I do, or the coil builds that I do, and is quite happy to express it. That's quite awesome. And yeah, I have to thank all of the people who sponsored our shows. So all of our Kiwi vendors. So I mean, I'm not going to list them all off because we've had a number of giveaways and things, but yeah, like the big ones off the top of my head, we got Vaporium, E-Juice Bar, Mushroom Cloud, Fusion Fighting Liquids, obviously like our most recent one, NSVAPEs. There were just so many of them that were happy to offer up products or juices to give away. That was just amazing. As well as the people who have come on the show as our guests. I have to thank them as well for taking time out of their day to come on our show and give us their input as to what they do within the community. It's been amazing. The whole journey the whole vaping journey, should I say, as a whole, has been absolutely amazing. It's become more than a community. It's a family. It's, yeah, we back each other. Yeah, we squabble, but we always have each other's backs. Yeah, I think that's all I can actually like think of. Oh yeah, and I have to thank the Ohm Iwi boys, or the Vaping Iwi boys. Yeah, being able to do like those little collab shows. I have so much respect for those two boys. They make me laugh, and yeah, and the knowledge between the both of them is just immense, and it's cool. We have such an awesome community. Yeah, I think that kind of wraps me up. I hope I haven't missed anybody. I would just like to thank everybody. Oh, and of course the people who come in and watch our shows. Because I have to thank them as well. It's like without you viewers, our show wouldn't keep going. Hey, Mox.
That is damn
and he's
right.
watching.
There is so much love that we have for you guys. You covered some of my list. I am actually going to mention every vendor who has sponsored us throughout the year, though. I'm just pulling out the lists of all of our videos so I don't miss anybody. Yeah, the viewers. We can't do any of it without the viewers. So you guys are amazing across the globe to come support, hang out, and listen to us to talk shit for 2 hours. And we've hit over our 2 hours now, and sure, we're winding it up, but this is the last one for the year. You guys aren't going to see us for 4 weeks. You won't see us. We will be back in week 5. I worked it out last night. So we're going to take a good family break, and I might make some appearances, and Meg might make some appearances, and we'll still be around. But Ohm Kiwis itself won't be back till the 18th of January. So the big love I would like to give a shout out to. I'm going to go right back to the beginning if I can remember them all. Oh, bless. Okay. Hang on, that might not be the file that I wanted. Dun dun dun! Because I've got all of the YouTube shows in front of me, but we had all of those sponsors and those vendors on Vapers TV before we came to YouTube, so I, don't want to miss anybody, if I can possibly help it. If I can possibly help it. Let's see how we go here.
Who was our first? Our first was Vaporium, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm just actually looking at thumbnails of our Vapers TV shows because I don't have it written in a file. I'm looking at thumbnails of what we had up. No, Vaporium was our second show. So our first ever show was on Valentine's Day in the US, the 15th, here in New Zealand of February. So it's not quite been a year, but because we'll be starting late in January and maybe next year we'll finish a little bit later, we'll see. It's been, approximately around that school year type mark is how I've been having it in my head.
So now I remember it, because if it was like Valentine's Day, it was like the day after my birthday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got the dates on these shows in front of me. So our first show, we just got up and running and we got used to doing all of this. And our second show was Vaporium. And then, so we didn't have a sponsor every week. So, and that's fine. That was never the goal to have a sponsor every week. It was just, we wanted to support and share what our New Zealand vendors have available for our NZ community. So, we had sponsors sporadically. Next up, of course, EG Spa that Megs has already mentioned, as well as Vaporium as well. I'm just going in order that I've got them in front of me. Next sponsor with big love for the year was Shelley's Juice Bar in Christchurch.
That's right.
Yeah, see, now as I mention them, you're going to remember the shows. God, I'm looking back at these thumbnails. What a progression on our faces, I must say. And then we had... Sorry?
Did mine get smaller?
No, yours is more a progression of how you're wearing your hair and which hat you've got on. Or which hoodie.
I had to wear a hoodie today. It's a bit chilly today.
Hey Cam, Cuzzy Cam is out there in the chat box. Thanks for joining us just as we're wrapping up, honey. You might want to watch the replay back. You and Tom get a bit of kudos. Love you, cuz. Right, continuing on. Next sponsor I'd like to thank for helping us out immensely. And this is a company that actually is part of our NZ extended community because they're overseas and we love you to pieces, and we do. And I'm talking about Jackie and Shane at iVape Australia. You guys mean just as much to us as our local crew that we can drive down the road and touch. Love you guys to pieces. Will vape sugar baby forever. Love you guys to pieces, eh? You've done so much for us, and the friendship that is growing between us and you guys, and I say us meaning A, the Ohm Kiwis, and B, our New Zealand community in general. The camaraderie that you have with us and that true friendship is just awesome, and you guys are just beautiful people. You guys are just, love yous.
So much loves.
So much love, darling. Next up was the Mushroom Cloud. Big loves to you, Lawrence, up there in New Plymouth. Then we had Hoopers. Hoopers Vapor is Ben that I mentioned around Christchurch Vape Day earlier. So he was the next sponsor. When was that?
Was that the Nuveloso?
That was April.
Right?
Sorry?
The Nuveloso range. Was it that one?
Yes. Yes, it was that one. And then we had, the next week after that, we had a big run of starting to promo 1 Billion Lives, and we gave out our first week. No, that was beanies, because we did 2 shows of beanies before the premiere, remember? And
that's
so,
right,
yeah, we spreading the love and giving out 1 Billion Lives beanies across the globe. So, so much love for Aaron. I rambled on about him earlier, but I wanted just mention again the support he's given in return for Megs and myself as individuals and as the Ohm Kiwis as well. Awesome people, great merchandise. I mean, like that beanie, it's summer here because that's what's on the wall. I don't need to wear a beanie, but great products, good quality products. Then the next sponsor we would like to thank, who has already also been mentioned, but big loves again to you, is Lawrence at Mech Level Vapers. He's Mech Level Carvings now. He was a vape vendor earlier in the year and decided that that wasn't a route that was working for him, and just went back to focusing on his carvings and addy stands and what have you, which is great. That's totally where he excels. Love your work, darling. Yeah. But at that time in the year, he was Mech Level Vapers, and he was a products vendor, getting in bits and pieces for everybody. And we gave away, that was our only hardware giveaway this year. We gave away a mech on that show.
That's right. Yeah.
Which that's randomly, right. Meg's flatmate won.
My flatmate won their package. It was it was so funny. Didn't quite realize that it was her until just before she won.
Yeah.
Was when I knew that it was her. Yeah, that cracked me up. So that when her name come up, that she'd won that that package. Oh, did I laugh? I laughed so hard. It was an awesome prize.
That really was an awesome prize. And then the next show after that was another round of A Billion Lives. A Billion Lives merch, and was the final show before the red carpet world prem. And then so the next show we did after that, after the premiere, was the one where we gave away the last of the beanie stock that we had, and a few of the t-shirts from the world prem that had the sponsors on the arms. Gave out a handful of those. So yeah, and that also is sort of the crossover right there of when we did A Billion Lives. That first show after the premiere is when we came onto YouTube. So we've been here since the end of May, effectively. And then so if I am looking at it right, hang on, I might have my dates out slightly. Oh no, 44 South Liquids was up next, and then
it was a neat one, that one, because then that kind of also
we launched Russ's business. That's right.
Yeah, and then it also sort of got him to get in touch with me when he started releasing new juices to take more photos for him, because it was purely just for the show. I was taking like photos, but he liked them so much that he wanted to use them on his website. And now that he's got like some new juices coming through, yeah, he's asked me to take some more photos on the same style as original ones, and send those to him. So I've just got to wait for those juices to arrive, and I'll do some more snapshots of those for him. And yeah, he liked the quality of them, and I was happy to oblige.
And then we had, oh, I see what's happened there. Something confused me just then because of where my recordings go when Thomas took over doing the show. So next up after 44 South was Organic Homage. And then, right, I'm going to start banging through them because we're just rambling a bit now. 09 Vapes, 561 Juices, Renaissance Vapes, yep, you, Thomas. We have Vaporium again, we had NZ Vapor, and then we had, I'm about to say I'm wrong, Homage E-Liquids, there we go. Homage? No, that's not right. Oh my God, I'm just looking at his logo. I can't read it properly. Troy.
Organic. Organics or something like that?
No, that's Zane. I'm talking about Troy.
Oh.
Because that's right. Because he was the show that we tried to stream for 3 weeks in a row, and that's when Tom took over the show.
Yeah.
Why am I blanking on your company name, Troy? Like, hang on. logo. Where are you? I feel really dumb right now. And I did miss one actually. Fusion Fine, who you mentioned earlier, was also a sponsor this year. Where is it? Omega e-liquids. My bad. Sorry, I went so blank right there. Sorry, Troy. Omega e-liquids. So yeah, I hope I haven't missed anybody in that wee list. Those are all of our New Zealand and Australian sponsors who have provided some love in some way for the show, for us, for you guys, the viewers, throughout this year. And then, of course, we've got all of our guests who have come on. We've had, now I'm going to try and remember them all. We've had Gizzy, Skeletor, Yeti, Fresh, Fagin, Bogan.
Mooch.
Eh?
Mooch.
Yeah, Mochi. Sorry, I've got noise in the background. You distracted me. Yep, Mochi, Christine, Beauty and the Vape.
That was a fun show, that one.
Who else have we had on that we need to thank? Because I don't want to miss anybody. Oh, I want to share some extra shout out love. He hasn't been on the show, but he's been a background sponsor and just gives me love all the time. Is this man right here, and that's Mr. Dan Nudes Kirk over in Australia, and he's Hardcore Vapers. Love that man to pieces. And there'll be more coming about that to do with NZ merch for the new year as well. The Frog crew, big loves to all of the Frog crew. I haven't had all of yous on the show, but I have hung out with the Frog team so many times. Robbie Vapes, mwah. Who else is so? I've mentioned TJ, I mentioned Gizzy, Fresh, Leafa, Ray, love you to pieces, honey. I've met so many people throughout the year just hanging out on other shows as well. I've met Matt Cully from Suck My Mod. I've met Stefan Didak from Not Blowing Smoke. Of course, there's Dr. Attila Danko from Australia. I've met some amazing people in our global vaping industry. 2016 has been a really eventful year when we start breaking it down like this, eh? QJ and Miriwa in Auckland. QJ, NSVAPE, you've given me so much personal inspiration and pep talks in the background and the phone calls and the yarns that we've had, and QJ is very much a dear friend and far more than a vendor to me as well. I'm trying to think of who else we've had on the show guest wise. I'm just looking at logos and things, which is why QJ jumped up on me. Oh, I cannot go a step further without going big loves to Wayne Black and the Trove Live network that we even started out with, from connected to my Drippin' Dolls crew. Love you guys. I was talking with Ducky just last night actually, Mr. George, who he actually helped me set up the show originally and got all that running. I haven't spoken to all of you guys in that particular part of the US Vape crew for a while, but I think about yous all the time. Brandon, BJ Box Mods, love your work, honey. Nate Phillips, Mods by Nazy, love you guys so much, hey? And like I say, I haven't spoken to yous all for a while, but don't mean I ain't thinking of you. Who else have we had on? I'm not seeing any logos I haven't mentioned now. So much love in so many directions. I mean, I'm sure there's someone we've missed, and apologies if we have. It's not the intention, because there's just so many people to thank for an amazing year that we've had. And it's not like we are an integral part of this industry. It's not like we are a vendor providing a product for the consumer. We are just a couple of chicks hanging out, talking vape life, sharing our thoughts, opinions and information with you guys, just because we can, we want to, and you guys show us the love in return by coming up and showing up and viewing it and hanging out to chat. So what can I say? Just love to all of you, bloody all of you. I don't think I've missed anybody, but so many million apologies if I have. We will be back. We will have more sponsors come and hang and show the love in the new year. We will have more guests. We will have more juice reviews. There will be more vendors and juice lines that we will help launch and promote. The love goes in all directions. We will continue. It's not the end. It's just a break for now. So I think, unless there's anything else to say, Megs, we're going to go out on some clouds, bloody bail, and stop rambling some bullshit, and we'll see you guys next year.
Just the last little one, only because he mentioned it in the chat. There was a time when I was having issues with my internet, and Cam stepped up and co-host in my place for me.
That's right.
So thank you so much, Cam, for stepping in when I couldn't come on the show. I really, really appreciated it, and I'm sure that Mox did too at the time.
Well, that was sort of part of initiating the beginning of Cam starting the show with Thomas too.
Yeah, I guess that became like the beginning of it. So that was pretty awesome. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up.
I do have one last
everything.
Thank you, and it is the only person I haven't mentioned, and that's you, Megs. I'm gonna cry now. I couldn't have done this here without you, girl. Thank you for being my Robin.
Thank you for being my Batman.
Oh,
if anything, that's probably the biggest thing within like this whole vaping journey that I've had is that I'm so glad that I got to meet you. I mean, you are such an awesome person, and yeah, there is no way that I would have been on this had it not been for you.
You on, girl.
I mean, yeah, I kind of helped out with doing the whole co-host thing, but yeah, of everyone within the community whom I have met, is that you are one of the most important people in the vape community and vape family. It's kind of funny because it's like the number of times that we've spoken and all of that sort of stuff, and we'd have like the crazy nights of like staying up all night just talking shit and just hanging out. It's just good to be able to just hang out with someone that was kind of, that's like-minded, and yeah, I guess we keep each other grounded in a sense.
Oh, definitely, honey. You're so my rock amongst the chaos of our vape drama. Yeah, I can't say thank you enough to you, and I can say 1,000,001 things off air, and yeah, I'm actually a little surprised at how those two sentences made me choke the way they just did then, but that just says to me right there how much you mean to me, honey. And I'm going to do it again, so let's blow some clouds and fuck off, eh?
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm going to switch to a regulator now.
We love you, Vape Fam. We'll be back, and we hope you come and join us again.
Yes. We'll be back before you know it.
Alright, I'm just going to let it roll, and we'll blow a few clouds. Clouds for you guys, clouds for the Vape Fam, clouds for 2016, clouds for the year that has been, and clouds for those of our friends. Shit, I'm getting all emotional. Clouds for those of our friends who have passed this year. Because Vape Fam is true, and we love you all. I'll stop there because I really am going to cry. Alright, clouds. Alright, we love yous. Have a damn Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And we'll see you all on the flip side. Mwah.